Lafayette teachers try a different approach on contract negotiations. They've decided to take their case to the public. We'll have details on Lafayette Live next. The General Assembly heads into its last week with some bills of special local interest still in negotiation. We'll have local news, weather, and sports next on Lafayette Live. Stay tuned.
When it comes to automobiles, there's only one, Bob Rohrman.
It's spring fever, and new cars are popping up everywhere. When the fever is high, our prices are low. And if you buy a new car from a Bob Rohrman dealership, you'll get a free $600 customer care package, plus 3 months before that first payment. The Bob Rohrman dealerships on the Sagamore Parkway, Lafayette.
The sweat, the pain, the time, the fear, the obstacles, the triumphs. It all leads to the moment of truth. They've worked hard to get here, and now the moment has arrived. One team will grab the golden ring. That team will take one large step in the pursuit of their dreams. Who will make the grade? The question will be answered Saturday at 8 p.m. right here on TV 18, the IHSAA Lafayette Sectional Championship.
Your streets, your town. Gun violence puts you in danger. Watch a special Inside Edition, America Under Fire.
Tuesday at 5 on TV 18.
Now from TV 18, Lafayette's news leader, Mike Pickett, Sarah Eisler, Steve Shear with weather, and Larry Clisby Sports. This is Lafayette Live, TV 18 News, live at 6.
Good evening. The Lafayette Teachers Union has launched a new effort to get a new contract.
The Lafayette Education Association has started a multimedia awareness campaign. 3 billboards in Lafayette went up today. The aim is to make the public aware that nearly 600 Lafayette teachers still don't have a new contract. The LEA hopes people will then pressure both teachers and elected school board representatives to settle.
Constituents can put an awful lot of pressure on elected officials, and that's just what we're hoping to do.
Teachers will continue to express their frustrations as well. They plan to picket the school board meeting tonight as they did last fall. They also plan to make their presence known at other events.
We're just really planning on picketing as many activities as we can. You may see it at an elementary school doing picketing a spring fling, picketing a musical outage, picketing whatever. We just need to get the public aware that we are tired of working without a contract settlement.
Sudi says the billboards are the first part of their campaign. They also plan advertisements to get their message out. Teachers have been working under the terms of their old contract, which expired last August. The teachers and the board have been negotiating a new agreement for 10 months. The main problem is money. The school board says it doesn't have enough to give teachers a raise without layoffs. The teachers believe the corporation does. No future negotiation sessions have yet been scheduled.
A Kansas man accused of following his estranged wife to the Frito-Lay plant near Frankfort, then stabbing her, made his first appearance in court today. Michael Hopkins of Classen, Kansas, entered a preliminary plea of not guilty in Clinton Circuit Court. He's charged with 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of criminal confinement. Police say Hopkins jumped into the passenger side of his wife's truck while she was attempting to make a delivery at the plant. He stabbed her in the arm and she fled into the plant. Her training partner then wrestled into the ground until police arrested him. A jury trial is scheduled for June 28th. He's currently in the Clinton County Jail on $100,000 bond.
The Indiana General Assembly is wrapping up the 1994 session this week. As it comes down to the wire, Chris Morrissey reports some Tippecanoe County bills are in good shape, while others depend on conference committee negotiations.
There are at least 2 major successes for Tippecanoe County in the 1994 session. One bill creates a single set of regulations to be enforced by the new Unified County Health Department. The other bill sets up a taxing district of elected leaders who can impose an income tax or property tax to finance a possible cleanup at the abandoned Tippecanoe landfill. The author, Sheila Clinker, says all she needs to do is to agree to the version of the bill that passed the Senate, and it's on the way to the governor's desk for signing. But Clinker may use the bill to help out the city of Indianapolis.
Hopefully we won't have to do that, but it does mean $1 million to inner city Indianapolis for the township trustee, Julia Carson. So if there's no other bill that he can attach that amendment to, then we probably would dissent. But we're hoping that we don't have to do that.
The local legislators say the landfill bill progressed smoothly because community leaders and state legislators all agreed. But it will take more than local agreement to get approval for Purdue to construct 3 new buildings. State Senator Mike Gary says it may be tough to get Governor Evan Bayh to accept any additional debt, and it may be tough to keep the list of projects reasonable.
You've got 7 main campuses. You've got, I think, 14 or 15 Ivy Tech sites. You've got all kinds of regional campuses from IU and Purdue around the state, and every one of those places has a political constituency that feels like, you know, the building on their campus is the one that's most needed, and it becomes very difficult to limit it.
Although creation of a magistrate position to ease the local court caseload is lumped in with pay raises and controversial language about electing judges in Lake County, West Lafayette Representative Sue Scholler is optimistic.
So I think there's a lot more positive pressures to get the bill through this time than we've seen in the last couple of years. So I'm hopeful we'll get our court magistrate anyway.
The House-Senate conferees have until Friday to work out any compromises. Chris Morrissey, TV 18 News.
Fairfield Manufacturing is altering its management philosophy, saying it will take a more proactive rather than reactive approach. With that realignment will likely come job losses, although Fairfield management says it's not sure how many. Company President Bill Leckman says the adjustments will improve customer service, open up opportunities in countries such as Asia and South America, and ultimately make Fairfield more competitive.
Some of that is going to require new equipment. We are evaluating that. Some is going to require new tooling. Some is going to require new people. Some is going to require to look at the people that we have and to say, are they capable really of carrying this thing out? The object of the game is what? Is not only to sustain the health of this company for the future, but really to make it bigger, to make it better. That offers a better future really then for all of our employees and for our customers.
Leckman says the company has been evaluating its operations for months. He stresses that Fairfield is a strong company financially, but has previously operated with a cautious approach. He says the new philosophy will move Fairfield ahead of competitors and allow the company to be better equipped in the global marketplace. Job prospects in Lafayette appear to be on an upswing. Manpower polls a number of local companies and industries for its Employment Outlook survey. Spokesman Marta Foote says there should be growth in manufacturing and retail jobs.
The results for Lafayette for the second quarter are extremely bright this year. We have 37% of our people predicting increased hiring, and the national average is only 27%. So that's obviously very good news for the Lafayette area.
Foote says it's not unusual for employment to rebound this time of year.
Next on Lafayette Live, the latest on plans to expand the Big Ten.
And Chris Parenti reports on Generation X and spring break.
It's just kind of a pleasure to see something you built that works good.
Butch Unkin is the kind of farmer who likes to solve his own problems, whether it's building a grain cart from scratch or controlling his weeds. So he goes with Classic, Pinnacle, and Assure 2. Uses 1, 2, or all 3, and designs his own post-soybean program.
And I enjoyed doing it. That's the answer. If it works when you get in and you like it.
Classic, Pinnacle, and Assure 2. What makes them better is you.
Plow and BMW, all remaining 1993 BMWs earn the reduced financing of only 1.75% APR, an unheard of low interest rate for BMWs. This offer is for a limited time while current inventory lasts. If you've ever wanted to own a BMW, now is the time. Come out, check out our remaining 1993 BMWs. Financing is offered at the exceptional low rate of only 1.75%. Now at Build-A-Fow BMW Lafayette.
You know, sometimes you have to add a little spice to your life. Try something different.
Spicy chicken sandwich, please.
Excellent.
Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich is seasoned with Dave's own fiery blend of pepper and spices.
Man, that's got zip.
For a hot and spicy taste.
Dad, what are you wearing?
I'm trying something different.
Keep trying.
I should have stopped with a sandwich.
Try Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich today and go wild.
Portions of Lafayette Live are sponsored by McCord Goodyear Tire Stores and by Home Hospital.
The possibility of more schools in the Big Ten Conference is a step closer today. The conference is currently studying whether to end the moratorium on expansion. Purdue President Stephen Beering says other schools' athletic directors and coaches also support adding 1 or more members when the university presidents meet next. Beering won't say which schools are being considered, but he says many that were looked at before are no longer available.
As you might guess, some of the schools that are currently in the news because they have joined other conferences and realigned themselves are among them. So we're going to have to wait to see how this shakes out.
Purdue is also launching an aggressive campaign for students in light of an expected decrease in fall enrollment. Administrators are going to high schools and are even recruiting students by telephone. The prospective students targeted have all been accepted to Purdue, but have not committed to any school.
A Lafayette man who's led a fight against homosexual discrimination says despite measures passed last year, things have not improved. Dan Bowers says the problem persists and the new laws and policies have done little to help.
Number one, because it's difficult to prove, and number two, there's still a fear of opening up about it.
A number of people did open up last year when both cities were debating the issue. After hours of discussion, West Lafayette approved a resolution in September advocating a policy of equal treatment for all citizens regardless of sexual orientation. 4 months earlier, in May, Lafayette passed an ordinance adding sexual orientation to its non-discrimination clause. Since then, West Lafayette has had no complaints. One is pending in Lafayette. Bowers says there are more out there that aren't being reported.
People are afraid to move forward, afraid to come forward, afraid to voice discrimination, hatred, and insults because of the fear of nothing will happen.
But the chair of Lafayette's Human Relations Commission, Roger Francis, disagrees.
I don't think that's the case. We have a pretty good track record as far as getting situations resolved. And I think it's more of a matter of better understanding throughout the community, and in the situations where maybe problems may have arisen in the past, but they understand a little more in terms of tolerance.
But Bowers says he continues to get threats of violence and even recently received a bomb threat.
There's a lot of hatred and bigotry and discrimination still out there.
Lafayette is no different than any other community. And I think that we need to realize that there are individuals that will be in a situation where they may tend to not be as tolerant as other people. And it's just a fact of today's society.
Francis feels overall the discussion last year and resulting ordinance has had a positive effect, and West Lafayette Human Relations Commission member Susan Thomas feels the same way about the dialogue that occurred in her city. But Bowers believes it will take a state policy to really have an impact, and he'll continue to fight for that. He's been contacting state lawmakers to try to have sexual orientation included in a proposed hate crimes bill. A Senate-passed version of the bill removed that wording, but it could be added again in a House-Senate conference committee.
The Brady law requiring a 5-day waiting period to buy a handgun went into effect today.
Joel Allen checked with local gun dealers and law enforcement officials today to find out how the new law will affect them. Joel.
And he's here with a preview of tonight's cover story.
Mike, Indiana has had a 7-day waiting period for handgun purchases for the past 25 years, so the Brady law may mean little to police and gun dealers in this state. But West Lafayette Police Chief Dennis Mitchell says Indiana's law allows police to do a more deliberate check as their time permits. He says a more intense background check as required by the Brady law may cause manpower problems.
It could create a problem for us because it would require more time away from the regular duties of the people that, say, for example, operate the computer terminals over which we would communicate with other police agencies.
Mitchell says he is unfamiliar with the Brady law because so far he hasn't seen any information about the government about how to comply with it. And tonight in our cover story at 11, we'll hear from a local gun dealer who says the Brady law is okay as far as it goes, but he says there is something better out there that could be done as far as background checks are concerned.
And if you want to know what that is,
tonight at 11:11.
Okay, thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Joel. There are some flurries in the area. Steve Shear has the weather forecast coming up next.
The Dow Jones Industrials closed down 7 today. The top gainer among stocks of local interest is Philip Morris, up 2.
This place. It's the new Burger King Everyday Value Menu, with many of your favorite Burger King foods at new lower everyday prices. And now the BK Country Pork Sandwich, a third of a pound of delicious pork on a sesame seed bun. That sounds delicious. Check your Burger King for their everyday low prices. And now for a limited time, get the great tasting regular BK Country Pork Sandwich, or try the deluxe with lettuce, tomato, ketchup, pickles, mayo, and onions.
Value every day.
Have it your way.
On the surface, all herbicides for no-till may appear the same. But when you probe further, it's easy to see why Scepter herbicide works best for no-till. It cuts through the residue and stays in the top few inches of the soil where weeds germinate. So you get weeds before they start, right on through to harvest. Don't be left in the dark. See your Cyanamid Agri-Center dealer for Scepter.
When I go to town to buy new eyeglasses, I don't have time to waste. Where can I go for fast, dependable service?
C&B Optical One.
With 3 kids and a tight budget, where can my family get the best value in eyeglasses?
C&B Optical One.
How I look and see is important, and I want to buy my eyeglasses from someone I can trust. Where can I go to find quality eyewear and people who care?
C&B Optical One. Lafayette and Kokomo.
Flurry sounds a little scary here, but...
Yeah, I'm anticipating a little more tame week as far as...
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we deserve a break today, as the old saying goes, the old McDonald's theme, I think that was it. But, hey, pretty overcast out there now, but as far as what we're expecting for the rest of this week, take a look at this graphic. 36, that's still below normal for Tuesday, but I'm anticipating that 50 degrees is not out of the question for Friday. So an optimistic outlook as far as temperatures go. In fact, by Wednesday, 40 degrees is really the normal for this time of year. But we do, as they mentioned over at the desk, we have a few flurries in the northern part of the state. None of this snow that you see here is accumulating. Now, the area I'm really watching is out here to the west near St. Louis, most of it in the form of rain, a little bit of rain, I should point out, in the southern part of the state. But this is moving toward the east. I expect that this is going to pass to the south of us. What it is, it's a developing storm system, which is really not on the map yet. You can see the clouds associated with it out ahead of it. But by Tuesday and Wednesday, this storm is expected to move from Arkansas all the way into the northern sections of Georgia, which puts us on the northern side of this storm. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to see most of the precipitation, which is going to be rain and snow down in the southern part of the state. However, if you're traveling to areas like Missouri tomorrow, or even into sections of Kentucky Wednesday, expect a wintry mix. But again, I think this will stay to the south. I put the question mark here because we're unsure whether this low is going to head out to sea or move up the east coast and give those folks another big snowstorm. Something that they really I don't think want to have because they've had so much snow up there in the northeast. But our low temperature today, we hit that at midnight, so 21 degrees the low. We slowly rose up to 35 for a high temperature for the day. Normal high is 41, so another below normal day today as far as high temperatures go. We're at 33 now with a relative humidity, 61%, an east wind at 9 and a rising barometer, 30.27. As far as temperatures around the Wabash Valley, temperatures are mostly in the 30s, including 35 down at WBQR Radio in Attica. But for the rest of tonight across the nation, well, I guess we could say temperatures on the cool side. We'll be bottoming out at near 20 degrees by tomorrow morning. That's normal for this time of year. Then 30s for tomorrow, so still cool tomorrow, but notice how things are beginning to warm up here in the Central Plains. Some 60s as far north as Montana, and we may be tapping into some of that warmer weather. By Wednesday, high temperatures in the 40s, which once again I said was normal for this time of year, but maybe as we approach the latter parts of the week, we'll get into some of this warmer weather. But we'll take a look at the tower cam out there right now. Temperatures are overcast and some pretty hazy conditions out there, really, but some flurries in the area. I think most of those flurries will stay up in the northern part of the state with a low of 20 degrees. We'll watch some moisture try to work its way in here from the west, but I think that will stay to the south. So tomorrow morning there could be a bit of a wintry mix from Terre Haute down to the south, but here in Lafayette we stay on the cool side, a high of 36, but it does get better with some sunshine. I think Wednesday, temperature near 50 degrees is possible for Friday. Oh yes, Mr. Clisby practicing the old golf swing over here. Now this nice outlook here depends on this storm system to the south. Right now it looks like it stays far enough to the south that we get a pretty nice day or a pretty nice week, but if it moves...
Can you do anything to keep it down there?
I know.
Maybe Mr. Clisby can.
Everything always depends.
Maybe.
Depends. Even in sports, it depends on how you did yesterday, and we'll let you know how you do today. We'll be back. Take a look.
We'll find that out, too, won't we?
We'll do that in just a moment. Stay tuned.
There's Tom Moran. He was a home hospital baby. And teacher Cecilia Henry. She was born here, too. Dave Fagan and Barbara Middleton. Even the Sattler twins, Mark and Pete. They were all born right here at home. Actually, a great majority of the births in this community are at home hospital each year. So here's a salute to them all. You've come a long way, babies.
Home hospital at the heart of healthcare.
Got time for a leaner look? It takes less than 20 minutes with Lifestyle Meats from Payless. Beef cuts displaying this tag can be prepared in less than 20 minutes. And best of all, they're under 200 calories. You can do a lot in 20 minutes. Lifestyle Meats for today's lean look.
The Stampede of Savings is coming your way. The Goodyear Wrangler Stampede at your McCord Tire Store. The whole stockroom of savings on the whole Wrangler family. Tough tires for light trucks and vans. Check out the P-Metric Wrangler for great looks and rugged performance. It's tough enough to be at home on the range as it is in the city. There's a whole family of Wranglers. One is right for you. See the light truck experts at your nearest McCord Tire Store. Wrangler headquarters in Monticello, Fowler, West Lafayette, and Lafayette.
Oh, there was a farmer had a dog and bingo was...
It's really annoying, isn't it? But what better way to introduce new Hoosier Bingo than through the miracle of song? Now this is the game. On every Hoosier Bingo ticket, there's 56 ways to win up to $10,000. And here's the deal. You start to play the game, and we promise to stop playing this song. So, play new Hoosier Bingo. Please.
Portions of Lafayette Live are sponsored by Payless Supermarkets and by DeFau Chevrolet, BMW, and Geo.
Hi, everyone. The Purdue basketball team continues to bounce in and out of the top 10. Last week, the Boilermakers dropped 5 spots after losing a 2-point game to Indiana. This week, they go up 5 spots after wins over second division Big Ten teams Ohio State and Penn State. Go figure. Here's a look at it. Arkansas stays on top. Most people feel they're a #1 seed, as is Duke and Michigan and Connecticut. Right there is probably your top 4 seeds unless there's a collapse in postseason play. North Carolina at #5, Missouri, a tremendous ball club of late, Kentucky, Arizona, and the Boilermakers are up 5. And Gene Cady said in his press conference Saturday, so why do we drop 5 spots after losing to Indiana? Maybe we should, will we lose another 5 spots this week? Well, he didn't. He gained 5. Louisville is #10. Then you got Indiana dropping quite a bit, and then Minnesota is 18th. Now, most of today's basketball talk is centered around Indiana's 50-point loss to Minnesota yesterday. And the Gophers remembered a similar loss to IU at Bloomington a couple of years ago, so there wasn't any sympathy in the Minnesota camp after the game. Of more concern, though, to Purdue fans is the fact that the Boilermakers' next opponent is Minnesota. Gene Cady, tell us, could that blowout give the Gophers the big head and work to your advantage for Thursday night?
Oh, because I think they can see the daylight at the end of the tunnel, whereas last year they weren't selected in the NCAA, and they're still hot about that, so they'll be fired up and ready to play. I think it's a different scenario right now that we're all grinding down to what we're trying to get to here, and it's going to be different.
Purdue is the only team this year to beat Minnesota at Williams Arena, so the Gophers have added incentive there. And this is one of Purdue's strongest closing schedules in recent years, with Michigan and Illinois coming up next after Minnesota. Meanwhile, the Purdue women are 12-2 in the league standings after yesterday's easy win over Northwestern at Mackey Arena. Freshman sensation Leslie Johnson broke out of a mini-scoring slump with a 32-point performance. It was Leslie's second-best scoring game of the year. Lynn Dunn said today that Johnson, like other first-year players, may be at a point they're a little fatigued at this time in the season.
And for freshmen who've never played a Big Ten schedule, it's extremely challenging, much more challenging than a high school season. And I really think Leslie was starting to wear down physically because she was playing 30-plus minutes every game and going to class, doing all of her work and staying up on everything. And I think the 2 days that we took off last week was extremely beneficial, not only to her, but to everybody.
By the way, that's what Purdue's going to do, and that the men will do in the Illinois week is get a couple of days off after the Michigan game. Purdue plays, the women do at Indiana Wednesday night at home. Kind of an interesting story developing at East Lansing involving Michigan State coach Judd Heathcote. I'll have more on this tonight, but here's the scenario. An inter-office memo from the athletic director to the president of the university a couple of weeks ago suggesting that Judd's contract is terminated after this year. He was going to quit after next year, and that's because they were in a losing streak. Since that time, and when it came to surface today, this ball club has been red hot. So a rather interesting thing, and we'll hear him talk about it. I think he's very disappointed that he's been kind of undermined.
So is he going or staying, or do we know?
Well, apparently he's going to end up going. You know, it looks like, and he already has named his assistant as his successor, but I don't see him backing out here. They'll pay him. You don't have to worry about that.
We'll be back with more after this.
Liven up your walls with Berkeley and Borden wallpaper from Menards. They're pre-pasted and look great in many rooms. Choose from over 200 patterns, starting at just $7.94 a double roll. Add the warmth of real wood to your floors with Bruce hardwood flooring. Solid oak parquet is available in 3 durable urethane finishes. Now $1.97 a square foot. Check out Menards for low prices on home remodeling.
Save big money at Menards.
I carry in my mind the picture of a child who was never born, a child I aborted, a picture that changes as the years go by. I imagine him growing tall with dark hair and eyes. Again and again, my mind returns to that ghost of a child who would have been 12 this spring. If you think abortion is an easy choice, that you can just forget about it, it's not true. You can't.
In Indiana, it happens every February. Your Indiana Ford dealer's inventory tax clearance. Your chance to save big on a Taurus with standard dual airbags, V6 power, real 6-passenger seating, and more. No wonder Taurus is America's best-selling car. If there's one time of the year to get big savings on a new Ford car or truck, it's right now during your Indiana Ford dealer's inventory tax clearance. More reasons why your Indiana Ford dealer's the one.
Number one in America, your Indiana Ford dealer's the one.
You know, there's one thing that most sporting events have in common. When you see this R, the player's wearing a Russell Athletic NFL Pro Line jersey.
Hi, Warren. Hey, Joe.
Russell Athletic is also the official uniform supplier of Major League Baseball. They even outfit most major college and high school teams. In fact, Russell Athletic even makes great sweats and tees for the rest of us. Unfortunately, not everybody's gotten to work.
Get Russell and all your sporting goods at the Sportsman in the Village, West Lafayette.
In less than a week, thousands of anxious Purdue students will begin that long-awaited spring break. But their destinations may surprise you. Chris Parenti has more on the 20-something jet set in his series, Generation X.
College students work hard, scrimping and saving every last penny to pay for school, right? Well, maybe not.
Well, so friends and I are driving down to Hollywood Beach, Florida to stay in a condo.
How about you?
We're going to Scottsdale, Arizona. We're flying.
Pretty exotic spring break locales, and how we spend our leisure time may say a lot about Generation X. Experts say the baby busters are the first generation born into prosperous families. As a result, our parents often pick up the tab.
My mom is definitely paying because I have no money.
And so the vacations are fun, but they may be teaching a dangerous lesson, that Generation X doesn't have to work for the good life. But the vacations we take reveal more than simply our spending habits. They also provide insights into the kinds of activities Generation X enjoys.
It's just party and a lot of drinking, because that seems to be their top priority. And when you ask them what they're wanting to spend, well, as low as possible, because then that cuts into their beer money.
Generation X is described as looking for instant gratification, the life's a party attitude. Nowhere is that more apparent than when it comes to spring vacation.
Going down to see the local women, going down to see all the pubs, just basically having a good time, playing all the sports, just soaking in the sun and soaking in the margaritas.
With Generation X, I'm Chris Parenti, TV 18 News.
That sure doesn't sound like the 60s to me, does it? We didn't do those things, did we, Larry? No. More local news tonight at 11 on Lafayette Live.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening.
So long.
It's B-Window's annual coupon sale.
Check your paper for coupons or call B-Window because now's the time to check your house and wrap it up with new B-Windows and siding. Buy 1 or 2 windows and save 10%. Buy 3 to 6 windows and save 15%. Or wrap up your house with new B-Windows, siding, or the sunroom of your dreams and save a huge 25%.
Plus, no payments till September to make your dream come true.
B-Window.
These are treasured natural resources, the envy of the world. And today they have a new lease on life. They're no-till corn acres. The people who work them are seeing less erosion, more soil moisture, and some serious needs. For burn down of emerged weeds, for residual control while the corn grows. They're finding what they need. Extrazine 2. The people who go no-till go Extrazine 2.
If unwanted creatures got you bugged, call Reliable. If fleas are living in your rug, call Reliable.
Reliable exterminators believe your family's comfort comes first. Since 1936, Reliable's been helping the Lafayette community live in pest-free comfort. So when you have a pest problem, Reliable's the one to call.
Call Reliable.
Reliable Exterminators, 1813 Main Street.